delegate here in Arlington's 48th District, or as I like to call it, the Fighting 48. I appreciate the opportunity to be part of this important public forum. Ladies and gentlemen, as a Marine veteran of Iraq, where I serve as an Arabic linguist, and a former professional staff member on Capitol Hill, I know the value of effective leadership and how important a role it plays in crafting positive results for both Arlington and Virginia. During my time on Hill, I put this leadership experience to good use, forging bipartisan solutions in what still remains a politically divided Congress. A couple examples are the GI Bill for the 21st century and the 9/11 Victims Health and Compensation Act. Above all else, I've always put good policy above partisan rhetoric. No one party has a monopoly on solutions, nor should they. We need a delegate who will represent all of Arlington, not just those who voted for him. I'm here before you tonight to focus on solutions. Transportation. For far too long, Arlington residents have been shortchanged by a state transportation policy that takes our hard-earned taxes and returns only pennies on the dollar towards our ever-growing infrastructure demands. Solutions are going to require a dedicated funding source. I, like Aaron, propose we allocate a portion of the revenue from royalties from the Virginia ABC stores, the selling of the ABC stores, as well from the royalties on Virginia's clean natural gas resources. These are going to be very important in funding our future transportation needs. I stand for solutions. My opponent has no legislation to speak of on the transportation bill that has made any inroads. Virginia, veterans higher education. We need our Virginia veterans to use their GI Bill benefits in Virginia, not take them to another state. Tuition costs are rising at the highest pace in years. That's what families have to choose between going to college or paying the bills. We need to provide these working families with tax incentives to make sure they get the education they have earned. I'm for solutions. What about Bob? Bob has no legislation to address these issues. Fiscal responsibility is one of the most important issues we're going to hear about tonight. You'll notice not one of my solutions is funded through tax increases on our families. While raising taxes may sound like an easy fix, taking money out of your pocket in a poor economy is clearly not the solution. We need to think creatively. Nothing worth doing was ever easy. I will create solutions. What about Bob? My opponent has never seen a tax bill that he didn't like. He's out of touch here, and he's voted on this tax cap that on commercial real estate instead of lowering it down to the previous rate of 12.5% up to 25%. This would hurt small businesses already suffering an economic downturn. The consequences of raising taxes right now are crystal clear, and we can't afford it. My campaign motto has always been, Arlington first, Virginia always. And this shows exactly where my priorities are. And with your support, we can make sure Arlington is always first in Richmond. And you can find more details about my legislative priorities at www.ringelfordelegate.com. And I'm more than happy to talk with anyone about them afterwards. Thank you very much.
Good evening. I want to thank the Civic Federation for sponsoring this annual kickoff of Arlington's campaign season. Over the years, I've attended many of these events, both as an observer and as a participant, and it's good to be back. Since my last candidates night 2 years ago, Virginia, like every other state in the nation, has felt the effects of the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression. At the same time that revenues have declined, the need for safety net services, from medical care to food banks, has increased. This morning at the Joint Commission on Health Care down in Richmond, we were told that the number of patient visits to Virginia's free clinics has increased by 1/3 over the past year. This economic reality is going to dominate the General Assembly's actions for the near future. 2 weeks ago, Governor Kane reported to us that continuing revenue declines will require additional cuts of $1.5 billion over the current fiscal year. And even though there are signs that the recession has bottomed out nationally, its hangover is going to leave its mark on the budget for the coming years. So looking down the road, we have dual challenges. First, to meet our current fiscal responsibilities and to be sure that we maintain the essential services of government in the long term. In health care, we need to ensure that children, the elderly, and the vulnerable receive the medical attention that they need in the most effective and efficient way possible. We need to sustain our first-class elementary and secondary school system and provide them the resources that they need. In higher education, I think that we have the best system of public colleges and universities of any state in the nation. But if we continue to shortchange them, the quality is going to suffer, and they're going to become less accessible and less affordable for our kids. Clean air and clean water add immeasurably to our quality of life, but unless we act to protect those resources, we and our children will suffer the consequences. And finally, we simply can't afford to delay coming to grips with Virginia's transportation crisis. If we do, we're going to jeopardize both our quality of life and our state's economy. I talk about these and other issues at my campaign website, www.bobbrink.org, and I hope you'll visit the site, and I hope you'll tell me what you think. The decisions that we make over the next 2 years are going to determine whether or not we can preserve the progress that we and many Virginians, both Republicans and Democrats, have struggled to achieve over the past few years. I'm committed to that goal. I want to be part of the process, and I ask for your support on Tuesday, November 3rd. Thank you.